I'm Julie Harker with Brownfield Ag News and have the pleasure of speaking with Dr. John Boyd, who is the president of the National Black Farmers Association. Um, Encouraged by some bills in Congress. Talk to us about a little bit about that and what you guys want. I mean, farmers are farmers everywhere, and you guys are struggling just as others are.
Yes, and one thing I wanted to point out very quickly, yes, all farmers are struggling, and all farmers are faced with low crop prices, and they went up a little bit. So soybeans are around $14 or something like that, which I think is a whole lot better than $8 a bushel. But what I want people to know is that as a black farmer, I only want to compete. I don't want to be treated differently. I want the same opportunities as any other farmer. And the National Black Farmers Association doesn't take issue with any farmer, large scale farmers or anything like that. We only want to be a part of the American fabric for agriculture. And that hasn't happened in a fair and equitable manner, where we've been shut out of all of the programs at USDA, farm subsidy programs, farm ownership, farm equipment, rural development loans, NRCS programs. And these statistics at USDA support exactly what I'm telling you, that black farmers and other minority farmers alike haven't been receiving the help and the benefits from the government. The very hand that's supposed to have been helping us has been a very hand to almost make us extinct. So when I say these things, these issues are real, and I'm on a lot of the blogs, and I read the comments from, quite frankly, a lot of large-scale white farmers who seem to have forgotten history of why Black people were here in the first place. We went from slaves to sharecroppers to Jim Crow to owning land after the Civil War. And here I am in the year 2020 talking to Brownfield Ag News about discrimination.
2021.
2021, that's exactly right. Another year has passed. So 2021, and I've been out here since the 80s, trying to fix some of these very same problems that I'm talking to you about.
So
And
a
this
new
is
administration, we
Republican.
have a new administration. We have an ag secretary coming back who worked for 8 years with Obama. We've got some legislation that is supposed to target, help for minority farmers, Black farmers, Asian farmers, and so forth. So do you feel optimistic?
I feel very optimistic. And I was trying to say that the issues facing the National Black Farmers Association, the largest organization in the country representing Black and other small farmers. We have 116,000 members in 42 states. Those issues that I described to you have taken place on both Republican marches and Democratic marches. So this isn't a Republican issue. This isn't a Democratic issue. This is an issue about right and wrong and fairness and inclusion and all of those things that I spoke to you about. But I am optimistic, and I've had a conversation last February with now President Biden and South Carolina before I endorsed him. And there was a lot of Black farmers that wasn't supportive of me coming out for Biden at that time. He hadn't won any primaries or anything like that. And quite frankly, he was still down in the polls when I came out for him. And we spoke in length, myself and now President Biden, about the discrimination at the Department of Agriculture and how I would like to see new blood at USDA. And I would like to see the issues that I'm raising, that I raised with him, elevated in this administration. And he said that he would do it. So if Vilsack, who he tapped to come back, that many of us have issues with, if he doesn't perform, and we're going to give him the opportunity to do that, then it goes back to President Biden because it's his pick. He's the commander in chief. This is the person he says he wants to lead his administration for the changes that I've been looking at. Then I'm going to give him that chance because that's who he picked. The same way we tried to work with every Ag Secretary going back to the Carter administration. So there's been dialogue right to the top there. So I want people to know that I personally spoke to him in a one-on-one meeting about these issues.
And you have also spoken in recently with Vilsack, Tom Vilsack, who
Yes,
was
yes, I have. I have two conversations with former Secretary Tom Vilsack, and it looks like he's going to be confirmed again by the Senate. I don't see, based on the confirmation hearing I watched, I don't. He looked like he just floated through there with flying colors, with support from both Republicans and Democrats, which is really not something you see every day in a confirmation hearing. You usually see one party on one side and one on the other. But what I watched was both parties saying they were okay with him. But I was disappointed that I didn't hear questions from anyone about in depth about how to fix agriculture as it relates to the issues of discrimination and land laws and participation in these federal programs. Uh, we didn't get enough in-depth questions from any member on the agricultural team on how to do that. There was some opening comments from my good friend from Iowa, my good senator friend from Iowa, who spoke about our relationship and the Black farmers issue. So he done pretty good, and the chairman came out and said she expected to hear more about the discrimination, but it never came. And I sat there and waited for one of the members to ask questions about how to address the discrimination, and that never happened. Yeah, and also when we speak about the discrimination, uh, it's not allegations. Where former Secretary Dan Glickman said that there was widespread discrimination in his farm lending programs at USDA. I personally have a fact-finding discrimination in my case at USDA, where they said discrimination happened to me and these years and these years and these years. So we shouldn't be continuing to use the word alleged when it's been proven that the discrimination. We won in federal court twice against USDA on issues of discrimination and subsidies and all of these things. So we need to be moving away from the word alleged and start talking about the fix. How are we going to address this, and how are we going to fix this so that there will be farmers of color and Black farmers? Because quite frankly, we're facing discrimination right now, and we're actually facing extinction. So the oldest occupation in history for Black people, which is farming, whether we like it or not, came from farming. So all of these things, it's the oldest occupation, and now it's the very first occupation that we're faced with that could possibly come extinct. And when you're facing extinction in the United States, Congress always puts things in place to protect them, such as the bald eagle, the snail dog, the rockfish. All of these things, we can put laws in place to protect the brown and black bear, but we've been slow in putting in laws in place to protect the Black farmers, the oldest occupation in history for Black people in the United States.
Well, John, we look forward to hearing more from you as this
Yes,
administration gets more time under its belt, and
yes,
as Congress starts debating some of these bills. So,
yes. Debating the bills, and also I want to be clear, we're going to give Secretary Vilsack a chance. Absolutely. And I spoke about the differences in between former Secretary Sonny Perdue and Secretary Vilsack. I believe it's night and day. We've been totally shut out with former Secretary Perdue, and I had a sit-down meeting with him, and it was the worst meeting I've had with an agriculture secretary going back to the Carter administration. And I've met with every agriculture secretary, Republican and Democrat, and he was the worst. So I'm looking forward to working with Secretary Vilsack to make these very, very, very important changes. But people need to know we expect a whole lot from them this time. So we expect them to deliver the goods, and we want to be a part of this administration, and we're going to work with Congress to make farming better for all farmers. I want to go on record saying that. I'm for all farmers, but when you tell me I can't participate in federal programs because I'm dark and burly and African American, that's not going to work. We want to be a part of the American fabric. And I also want people to know that I work 7 days a week. And this myth about black men and black farmers are lazy is a myth. I've been working all my life. My daddy worked all his life. My grandfather worked all his life. They built their careers and their name recognition in this community off of hard work. And so have I. So I want people to know I have a great work ethic, and I just need the same opportunity as any other farmer in this country.
Dr. John Boyd, President of the National Black Farmers Association, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Julie Harker on Brownfield, Ag News for America.